8 things you do every day. None of them feel like anxiety. All of them are. You don't pace the floor. You don't cancel plans. You don't look like someone who's struggling. You look like someone who's prepared, responsible, thoughtful, on top of things. But underneath all of that, your nervous system has been running threat simulations since the moment you woke up. And the behaviors everyone calls your personality are actually anxiety that learned how to look normal. You reread messages before you send them, not once, multiple times. Not because you want to phrase things better, because you're scanning for anything that could be misread, that could upset someone, that could make them think less of you. You change words, you remove sentences, you add qualifiers, just sorry, maybe, I think, to make yourself sound smaller and less demanding. And then you send it. And then you wonder if it still came across wrong. That's not perfectionism. That's anxiety making sure you didn't accidentally cause a problem. You always arrive early. People call you punctual, reliable, professional. But the truth is, being late feels unbearable. Not inconvenient, unbearable. Your heart rate goes up when you're running behind. You calculate traffic margins that don't need calculating. You sit in your car outside for 10 minutes because arriving exactly on time feels too close to late. That's not conscientiousness. That's anxiety disguised as responsibility. You apologize for everything, for asking a question, for taking up space, for having a need, for existing in a way that might inconvenience someone. Sorry to bother you. Sorry, this is probably a stupid question. Sorry, You say sorry before anyone has indicated there's anything to be sorry for. Because somewhere in your nervous system, taking up space without permission feels dangerous. That's not politeness. That's anxiety that learned the world is safer when you make yourself smaller. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You run through what you'll say, what they might say back, how you'll respond to that, what you'll do if it goes wrong. By the time the actual conversation happens, you've already had it 17 times in your head. And you've prepared for every possible version except the one that actually occurs. People think you're a good communicator. You are. But you're also exhausted from never being able to just show up and let a conversation be what it is. That's not preparation. That's anxiety trying to control an outcome it can't control. You're always busy. Not because you have more to do than everyone else, because stillness is uncomfortable. When you stop, the thoughts start. The worry surfaces. The thing you've been avoiding is suddenly right there. So you stay busy. You fill the calendar. You find one more thing to do before you can rest. And everyone around you thinks you're driven, ambitious, productive. And maybe you are. But the busyness also has another function. It keeps the anxiety just far enough away to function. You laugh at your own anxiety. I'm such a mess. Classic me, overthinking everything. Sorry, I'm just anxious. Ignore me. You make it a joke before anyone else can make it a problem. You name it lightly so nobody takes it too seriously, including you. This isn't self-awareness. This is a defense mechanism. If you laugh at your pain first, it can't hurt as much when someone else dismisses it. And it makes it easier to keep going without asking for help. You feel guilty when things are good. When life is calm, you wait for the other shoe to drop. When something goes right, you immediately look for what could go wrong. When you're happy, you feel a low hum of something underneath, a sense that this can't last, that you should be more careful. That's not pessimism. That's a nervous system that learned good things don't stay good, that safety is temporary, that you should stay alert, even when there's nothing to be alert for. You read people better than they read themselves. You notice the slight shift in someone's tone before they've said anything is wrong. You pick up on tension in a room before anyone else has registered it. You know when someone is upset with you before they know how to say it. Everyone calls you empathetic, perceptive, intuitive, and you are. But this level of attention didn't develop because you're naturally gifted. It developed because at some point, reading people accurately was how you stayed safe. Missing a signal meant something went wrong. So you learned to miss nothing. Your empathy isn't just a personality trait. It's your nervous system doing what it always does: scanning, reading, preparing, just in case. Here's why none of this looks like anxiety. Because anxiety is smart. It didn't stay in the forms that are easy to spot: panic attacks, frozen paralysis, visible distress. It adapted. It found ways to exist inside the behaviors that get praised. Being early gets called responsible. Apologizing gets called considerate. Staying busy gets called driven. Rehearsing gets called prepared. Reading people gets called empathetic. Anxiety found the most socially acceptable versions of itself and moved in. And so you went your whole life being told you were reliable, thoughtful, composed, while your nervous system was running at a level of effort that most people never have to sustain. You weren't just being yourself. You were managing, every single day. None of this means you're broken. It means your nervous system learned that the world required this level of vigilance. Something, at some point, taught it that mistakes have consequences, that conflict is dangerous, that taking up space without permission carries a cost. And it adapted. It built these behaviors to keep you safe. And they worked. You made it through. But here's what's worth knowing now. These aren't your personality. They're responses. And responses can change when the nervous system learns it's safe enough to lower its guard. You don't have to perform your way through every interaction. You don't have to arrive early to every moment of your life. You don't have to apologize for simply being here. You were always allowed to take up space. You just weren't taught that yet. And here's the hardest part. You've spent so long managing, so long performing competence, performing okayness, performing the version of yourself that doesn't need anything, that you forgot what it feels like to just be. Not ready, not prepared, not scanning, just here, in a room, in a moment, without running the calculations. That version of you exists. She got very quiet. But she's still there, and she doesn't need to earn her place. She doesn't need to apologize for being in it. She doesn't need to arrive early, or laugh at her own pain, or read everyone in the room just to feel safe. She's allowed to just be here. Starting now. We see you, not the version that has it together, the one underneath, who has been working very hard for a very long time. She deserves a rest.